Hey guys, what is up? My name is Mouthy Ninja, and welcome to my first ever Destiny commentary video. If you agree with any of these arguments that I'm about to make sure you leave a like. If you don't agree, let me know in the comment section below on what you disagreed with. Just please be as respectful as possible. Alright, now let's get right into it. So, as Destiny 2 has come out, and more people have played it, particularly the PC crowd, and their opinions are coming out, and people are comparing it to Destiny and why or why not Destiny 2 is better or worse. Out of all of these things that people have been talking about, people like Datto in particular, our Lord and Savior of optimal DPS, people have not mentioned some of the key factors that I felt made Destiny great. Year 1 in particular, Year 1 was the best time for Destiny, period. And major PvP players will mostly agree with this. They'll probably say like House of Wolves. I thought that it was the Dark Below, but this is up for discussion. Whatever, it's not really the point. The point is that the main thing that I felt people would agree with that why year 1 for Destiny was better than all the other years of Destiny, particularly in Destiny 2, was the initial leveling system. But everybody that's been making videos or having streams or commenting on it hasn't said anything about the initial level system, and I'm not sure why, because to me it was perfect. The leveling system, it made sense to me. You would level up and unlock your subclass and your perks as per regular, but once you got to level 20, your character was max level, right? It's the same in Destiny 2. However, once you got to level 20, if you wanted to increase and go higher and get to that next level, you had to get armor with light values. And you could get rare armor with light. It would only have, like +5, +8, +2, whatever. And you would have to keep grinding until you got high enough to where you could do stronger activities and you got legendary drops. And you had to push yourself and push your firing team to become more powerful by getting light. So that's where the term light level came from, because you had your level, and then once you got to level 20, you would have a light level. Now, I don't understand why nobody else is talking about this. Maybe other people are. I've watched lots and lots of Destiny videos and read things on Reddit and Bungie forums, and I don't hear anybody talking about this. So this is why I bring it up first. Now, when you were level 20 and you would see enemies with yellow numbers next to their health bar, these were higher level enemies, and the game would tell you when you go up to fight them the first time or when they would kill you that you need to have a light level in order to fight them. And you could feel yourself getting stronger after you were level 20, and it felt like there was more of an end game. And specifically, once you got to 25, 26, 27, 28, so on and so forth, you could do the Nightfall and the Raid, and this was a real endgame experience. It really felt like you were getting stronger, and enemies were at the top of the food chain, and they were going to stop you no matter what, unless you had the better gear and the better weapons. Which brings me to the next point: elemental primary weapons. I never understood why they took this away, because it didn't make a difference in PvP. And in that, I mean that it doesn't give any unfair advantage. If you had a solar primary weapon, like something along the lines of Vex Mythoclast or Vision of Confluence, it didn't burn the enemy. It didn't give you an extra advantage or anything like that. Whereas in Destiny 2, if you're using energy weapons, it does bonus damage to enemies in their supers and enemy shields, right? Well, in Destiny, you had elemental primary weapons, but it mostly benefited. Actually, it only benefited PvE, so those weapons were extremely useful in the Raid and in the Nightfall, because the Nightfalls back then always had elemental burns. Enemies did 300% damage. So Destiny 2 players, people who've never played Destiny and just jumped on the ship for Destiny 2, the Nightfall in year 1 was real. People used to solo it and it was a very big deal. And it's not like you could just play Crucible or just farm story missions or strikes to get these weapons. These weapons could only be gotten through the raid when Vault of Glass came out. They were the strongest weapons in the game and can only be gotten through the strongest in-game content until House of Wolves came out, and with it brought Trials. I believe that was in May of 2015. And once Trials dropped, you could get some elemental primary weapons from Trials, like the Messenger, so Solar Pulse Rifle. It was amazing. It could two burst. I almost said two tap, but it's pulse rifle. So it was really good, but it being a PvP weapon with a solar burn, it didn't mean anything in PvP. So you had that cross section between playing PvP, getting good in-game weapons, and wanting to do raids and nightfalls with that good gear. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that the gear that you got and your item level and your light level actually meant something by the end of the game. When you got max level, you had powerful gear. You were a force to be reckoned with. Whereas in Destiny 2, you get power 305 and you don't really feel any different than a power 100 or power 150. It just makes no sense. It's all over the place. Ever since they broke the leveling system in Destiny with the Taken King rework, nothing has ever been the same, because you can load up Destiny right now and go to any mission and it'll say you have to be level 31. You can be level 31 and it doesn't really feel that different because it has a level and a power level requirement or recommended power, right? So if you were to load into that mission and you were a few levels and light levels below it or above it, it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't feel any different because everything is capped. So whether you're stronger or weaker, you're in this little power window. And Bungie did it this way intentionally, so that way if you were a max level guardian, you couldn't go around with other people who just started out and just destroy everything, or just go into the Vault of Glass and just like one-shot Atheon or something. They wanted there to be a rhyme and a reason to it, whereas in Destiny 2, with the power level, it just makes no sense. Personally, I don't understand why they did away with the light level. Sure, we lost our light because the Traveler got caged or whatever, but we got it back and we're still Guardians. We still use the power of the light, so I don't understand why we can't have light level, but I digress. And while we are on the subject of loot and things making sense, random weapon rolls. What happened? Where did they go? They just took them out for absolutely no reason. The reason that they gave was so that it's a more balanced game, but for what? There's no competitive, there's no tournaments. Why do we need balance? Why can't we just have an RPG system with random rerolls? And there was a huge point to rerolling weapons, or rather than rerolling weapons, I should say re-getting weapons and keep grinding to redo certain activities to get certain weapons, because there is no transmog or reforge system. We had the reforge ability with the gunsmith in House of Wolves for a little while, but that was quickly taken away after a few months because I guess we couldn't handle that. So you would have to grind and grind to get specific roles, or the god roll of your favorite weapon, and then you would spend hundreds of hours being admired for having a grasp of Malik with max range and stability while also having explosive rounds. Seriously, there is a person out there who has that role. They have max range, max stability, and explosive rounds on a pulse rifle. Just think about that. That actually exists. And it's not even just the weapons. Armor. Armor had specific perks that made you better. It made you stronger. Some of them made you faster in certain encounters, certain raids. If you held the relic, or if you had a certain aura or buff, you would become stronger or faster at reloading, or you ran faster so you complete the objective in that encounter. In Destiny 2, where is it? It's gone. They took all functionality away for the sake of balance, and there is nothing to balance. Since we're on the subject of raids and encounters, guess what? Crota is the best raid. Fight me. Also in Destiny, we had loot caves, real actual loot farms. You could sit there and grind and grind and grind, just kill mobs, collect engrams, and go back to the tower, and you would ultimately get trolled by Raoul, but you could endlessly farm the loot. Can we please just bring back Dinklebot? Does anybody really care about Nolan North as Ghost? Snarky Ghost that just says smartass shit all the time, whereas Dinklebot was more humanizing. You actually cared about his lines, or I did at least. When I heard Dinklebot deliver the lines of the first moon mission when the doors to the Temple of Crota open, and he says, "We've woken the hive." It sounds real. It's believable. And when that moment happened for me, that's when I truly fell in love with the game. I wanted more of the story. I wanted to find out more. I just wanted more of Dinklebot. Just sell it to me in a Ghost voice pack. I'll buy it. I don't care. Just give me back Dinklebot. And for the sake of balance, we have entered into this age where we cater to casuals because apparently not everyone has time to grind for the perfect role. So why are we ruining the game to cater to casuals? What happened to vendor weekly roles that completely solved this issue? You could just go and buy a different role of the same weapon every week, or you could check all the vendors in the tower and you could get the role that you wanted. You could get that god role if you're a casual player. Just log in once a week and it's fine. Which, speaking of that, why are vendor role weapons gone? Why is vendor anything gone? Have you noticed you can't buy anything in Destiny 2 anymore? There's no such thing. It's just slot machines now. Slot machines and engrams. Thanks, Bungie. If you wanted those great weapons, the Ias Lunas, the Grasp of Malix, the Longbow, the LDR, the Party Crasher, the Matador, you had to grind for them in the specific activities. You had to kill Omnigul. You had to farm Vanguard strikes and bounties. You had to play Crucible and get lucky with those drops and with those rolls. Some people don't like that. That's not vertical progression. It's not progression at all. But it gave you the feeling of accomplishment. You had grinded and grinded, and your grind was rewarded with what you wanted. Also, why do people want space battles? Why is that a thing? Why is that an argument? This is Destiny, not Star Wars. They're not the same. Don't lump them together, please. There was actual loot in the game. You ran strikes, you got loot, you did the raid, you got loot, you did story missions, you got loot, you did crucible matches, trials, whatever it was in the game, you name it, you actually got loot. There were structured loot tables, stuff just dropped. You didn't get tokens and play pachinko with your grandma at the tower. That wasn't a thing. Can we please remove that? Like, stop. Also, for Destiny 2, there is no vanilla. This is year 4 in Destiny's life cycle. Why are we reinventing the wheel? We're supposed to be adding on, not taking away. Now, what does Destiny 2 have to its name? Not a whole lot. It does have PvP, that's true, but it's boring. The time to kill is too slow. Everything was balanced and slowed down for across the board for like a PvP comp type thing, but there is no ranked play, no esports anything whatsoever. No tournaments, no PvP seasons. There's no comp support on any front whatsoever, other than just labeling the playlist competitive and turning up skill-based matchmaking. But there's no skill rating in the game. So what how are you rating me? How are you matching me with other players? So what else does Destiny 2 have? It has CS:GO Lotto Destiny Edition. It has no heroic strikes or modifiers, no heroic mission-based events, no Prison of Elders, no strike-specific loot, but there's also no skeleton keys. So thanks, I guess. There's no random weapon perks, no re-rolling. It's just totally one and done. You play it once, and that's all you need to do. There's no powerful feeling, not even in PvP. You get full trials gear. Whatever, you just look like an eggplant, I guess. Destiny 2 is by far the lowest point we have ever had in Destiny's life cycle, and I hope that it changes in the future and that I don't feel this way a year from now. So, in the end, I just want to say these are my actual honest thoughts, and this is coming from thousands upon thousands of hours of experience that has been poured into Destiny, and I have a couple hundred hours in Destiny 2, so I've put my heart and soul into this game. I annoyed my friends and my family and everyone on my Facebook timeline for months and months at a time, because all I ever talked about was this freaking game. And I do understand that these things that I want will more than likely never come to this game. And that's just something that I'm still coming to terms with because I've been playing this game for going on 3 or 4 years. And it's with a heavy heart that I say this because Destiny truly is my favorite game. It was going to be that game that would always be there and I would always have a reason to log on. If you have never played Destiny and you have played Destiny 2 or the things that I've said sound good to you, then please go try it. You might like it. And if you agreed with anything I've said during this mindless rant, please leave a like and comment below. You want to talk progression? You want progression? Alright. Play Destiny 2. Then after you get bored in 5 minutes of playing that, boot up Destiny, delete all the expansions and DLC, and play on Xbox 360.